I was feeling kind of hungry, and I stopped to get a bite to eat. Next to me was a woman, so friendly and so happy.
About to get started.
I looked at her and said hello. It seemed like life is good, girl. She said I'm happy cause I
Welcome to
met
Talk
a
That
man
Talk with DivaSpeaks Relationships. My name is Angela Portariel. We're about to get into it.
We got to talking and I found out
What y'all know about that Sir Charles? The letter, okay? That's literally the name of the song.
You explain what I write to you. I looked her in her eyes.
What'd he say? I'm guilty, babe, of being no good.
For being no good. Everything you feel, girl, is understood. I told my woman, baby.
That's what he told his woman. I'm guilty, baby, of being no good.
Yeah.
Ow! Y'all don't know nothing about that.
That you feel.
Welcome to Talk That Talk with DivaSpeaks Relationships. My name is Angela Portariel. And we got something we need to chop it up real quick. This is going to be the quickest Talk That Talk in Talk That Talk history. But, you know, if I got it, it's worth chatting about. So come on in the room. It's only for the grown and sexy. Only for the mature. Let me add mature. The mature-minded, grown and sexy. Don't need no combative, negative energy, negative Nancy's and all of that. It's not what we do over here. Just positive energy, chopping it up about real relationship issues, whatever someone may be facing. You know, if you're not going through it, you may have experienced it, or you know someone that has experienced it. Somebody close to you may be going through it. I'm not sure, but when I pick out these letters, it is a familiar spirit. It's something that's been talked about before, you know, so it's a conversation piece. So I'm gonna turn Sir Charles down. This is just for those who might want to know. Sir Charles Jones, Rhythm and Blues, is called The Letter, Guilty. He said, I'm guilty, baby, for being no good. If I don't say nothing else, that's what a lot of people need to realize. You just no good, boo. You just no good. You just can't help it, you know. This is your season of not being a good person, but you can get through it. But we're going to talk about it. Let's see here what I got. All right, I'm going to slow it down a little bit. All right, that's more like it. Sir Charles got me all energized, trying to slow it down. Okay, guys, are you ready? Because this is a hot mess. This is a hot mess. And I don't know. Let's just get into it. Okay, so tonight's letter. My sister announced her pregnancy, but my husband is the one throwing up. You heard it. My sister announced her pregnancy, but my husband is the one throwing up. Okay. If you're just now coming into the room again, my name is Angela Portariel. I am the diva of all of that. And this is the Talk That Talk edition. And I'm going to read this letter as soon as I adjust this music. All right. I feel like I'm going crazy here thinking about it. My husband and I were at my parents' house for dinner. All was going well. We were talking, laughing, and eating. But as soon as my sister got up from her seat and announced her pregnancy, I noticed my husband got quiet, didn't get up to congratulate her since the rest of us did, and just kept staring at her or towards her. I repeatedly asked if he was okay, and he mumbled about feeling a bit sick. That was strange because he was perfectly fine that day. Literally moments later, he started throwing up. Like I had no idea what was happening with him. He sat on the bathroom floor near the toilet, just looking down and refusing to let me help him wash his face. I kept asking him if he was okay, but he didn't respond. My family was worried about him and I had to take him home. I checked his temperature and his blood pressure, but all was normal. Still complete silence on his part. He went to sleep shortly afterwards. And then around 5:30 this morning, I woke up to the sound of him crying in the shower. I rushed in asking him if he was okay, but still no response other than to tell me he needed a minute with himself. I almost lost it, demanding he explain what was going on, and he told me he was just feeling overwhelmed. From what? He's not the type who gets stressed out or work or anything of that sort. This is just so strange and out of character. He got dressed and left and refused to even talk about it. I can't help but feel like this reaction was triggered by my sister's pregnancy announcement, since all of this started right after she made it. What makes me feel so horrible is the fact that my sister once implied that my husband was her type and hoped to get someone like him. I can't shake this weird feeling about what has happened. Your thoughts? Well, let me be the first to say that I have never let it come out of my mouth that I'm no kind of relationship expert. I'm not a guru. I don't even like those terms. I am just a woman with some common sense, intellect, a moral compass, and I'm proud of my moral compass. And I use common sense. So let me just make that disclaimer. I'm not a relationship expert. I'm not a therapist, nor am I a counselor. But I will tell you this. I just did a show that's going to air Friday night on cable. And the takeaway points from my latest talk show that I just filmed and wrapped up for is trust your gut. Trust your intuition when you can't trace any evidence at the time. Your intuition is kicking in and you're afraid to connect with it because you can't fathom your husband and your sister. But if it quacks like a duck and it looks like a duck and walks like a duck and it has feathers, more than likely it may be a duck. And unfortunately, I don't have anything encouraging to say other than trust God to reveal the answers to you. And while you're praying for the answers to be revealed to you, ask God to help you to be able to hold it together no matter what is uncovered. Because sometimes we ask God for the answers or to reveal stuff for us and not asking simultaneously, God, help me to be able to handle what you're going to expose or uncover. This is a delicate situation, but because we're talking about your sister, your husband, and now a baby. We're talking about two trusted members of your family that may be guilty of having an affair right up under your nose. I don't want to plant those seeds, but I don't want to knock your intuition. I don't want to discredit what you're feeling. The timing is what's off. Your sister makes an announcement at the family dinner. Everybody's sitting around laughing, kikiing and cacaing, and she makes her pregnancy announcement while everyone else is sitting around the table congratulating her. They're getting up and they're hugging her. Your husband refuses to do so, and he's in a trance. And you say that he looks over at her. He's got this weird look on his face, and it just went downhill from there. All I can say is you have no proof right now. The only thing you have working for you, my good sister, is your intuition. The more you try to ignore it and silence it, the more you're going to continue to be not at ease, and you're not going to be able to rest. But you know what, guys? I have a best friend out of Dallas. Those of you that know me know I'm born and bred Texan. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I just live here in Charlotte. Ugh. Anyway, I ain't even trying to hide that. Anyway, one of my best girlfriends, she used to always say this back in the 90s. This is way back. Because we're of a particular age. We not no spring chickens. We not no young chickens. We some old heads. And you know what? Whatever. But my homegirl used to say, back in the 90s, a lot. She said, if you want to know if two people are messing around, or if your man and a chick, or a man and a woman is messing around, don't watch the woman. Watch your man. Watch his reaction. She says 50% of the time that'll work. However, she says if that doesn't work, then you do the reverse. Don't watch him, watch her. Because if we're dealing with a man, she says, the way we interact with somebody that we've been intimate with will definitely be the telltale signs. But it does not look good. And you say you tried to question him when he woke you up out of your sleep at 5:30 in the morning because he was in the shower crying his butt off. That sounds like a guilty conscience. What I'm doing is just simply reiterating the things that you've shared in the letter. You're at your parents' house, having a family dinner. Your sister makes a pregnancy announcement. Everybody is happy. Your husband has the strangest and oddest reaction to her pregnancy announcement. He loses it basically at the family dinner, to the point that you and your husband had to leave the dinner and go home, where he continues to deteriorate. Not on top of that, you wake up the very next day and he's still doing these strange things, like breaking down and crying in the shower. He may be your sister's baby's father. That's a possibility based on what you've shared in the letter. I don't want to plant no seeds, but you know what you're feeling. Don't ignore it. If anything, I would attempt to get to the bottom of it. But as you're doing your due diligence, let me encourage you. I can't stress this enough. I hope that when you go in search of the answers, that you are prepared for what you may find out. I think one of the most valuable lessons I've learned over my many decades on this earth is that it's not enough to go searching for the truth, or to go digging for answers, or to look for whatever you're looking for. You better be prepared to handle whatever you're going to find, if there's something to find. Because finding out something of that magnitude about your sister and your husband, you don't want to lose it. You don't want to do something that you cannot undo. This has the potential to divide the family. I mean, you have to be prepared for the answers that you are in search of. I think that's the most mature advice that I can give you. Don't jump to conclusions, but definitely keep your eye out on the situation and look for the answers. Because if he's never acted like this before, if you've never seen your husband act out in this way, if none of this feels like, wait a minute, where the hell does this come from? When my sister, now she pregnant, you all of a sudden you having all of these emotions and you breaking down, and we got to leave my parents' house. You wouldn't even get up to congratulate her. I'm just saying, God gave us women something really special, and it's called intuition. And I think the telltale signs of something really being wrong is when we try to ignore it. I think that is a telltale sign. When your intuition is kicking and screaming and eating away at you, and you're doing your best to ignore it or silence it, I think that's a telltale sign. Sometimes, you may be feeling like, well, you know what, maybe I'm just feeling insecure right now, or this may be, I've been out of whack emotionally, or maybe my hormones are out of whack, whatever excuse you make to tell yourself to try to ignore or silence your intuition, it never works, because it will not stop until something happens, a breakthrough with the information or the truth. So if you're just now tuning in, guys, this letter, my sister's pregnant, but my husband the one my husband's the one throwing up. So I'm just going to do a quick recap, guys. I feel like I'm going crazy here thinking about it. My husband and I were at my parents' house for dinner. All was going well. We were talking, laughing, and eating. But as soon as my sister got up from her seat and announced her pregnancy, I noticed my husband got quiet, didn't get up to congratulate her since the rest of us did, and just kept staring at her. I repeatedly asked if he was okay, and he mumbled about feeling a bit sick. I bet he was. That was strange because he was perfectly fine that day. Literally moments later, he started throwing up. He started throwing up like I had no idea what was happening with him. He sat on the bathroom floor near the toilet, just looking down and refusing to let me help him up to wash his face. I kept asking him if he was okay, but no response. My family was worried about him, and I had to take him home. I checked his temperature and his blood pressure. All was normal. Still complete silence on his part. He went to sleep shortly afterwards, and at 5:30 in the morning, I woke up to the sound of him crying in the shower. Oh, Lord. I rushed in and asked if he was okay, but still no response other than to tell me he needed a minute with himself. So that's pretty much the meat and potatoes of the letter. And then I forgot there's the part in the bottom where she says that once upon a time her sister made a comment and said that her husband was her type. So your sister has made you very much aware at some point during your marriage that your husband was her type. Now she's made a pregnancy announcement and he's losing his mind because she's pregnant. You know what? I always say, what's done in the dark will always come to light. And the thing about that's most unfortunate for the people who are doing the dirt, behind trusted loved ones' back, is you have no control over when your dirt is going to be uncovered or exposed. That's the beauty of it. You think all is well. You think you done got away with something. You thinking you can continue down this road of deception and lying and cheating and the sneaking around and all of this dirt you've been doing for however long you've been doing it. But as sure as it is, life will have it. They never know when they're going to get caught, one or the both of them. You have no control over it. And the thing is, they're always prepared to do dirt behind your back. They're not sorry. I'm talking about for people like this, the Jerry Springer type people. But they are never prepared for when they get caught. It's like, don't you know it's just a matter of time? It may not be today or tomorrow, but at some point your secret will be exposed. Did you prepare for that? Did you prepare a statement? I don't know, something, but trust your gut. And you know what? Do everything you can to hold it together. Lots of prayer. Please pray that you can get through this. I always say, I may be joking when I say it, but there's some truth behind it. How you handle this situation is very important because you want to come out of it, no matter how it goes with your marriage. You want to come out of it without a record, without a prison sentence. You want to come out of it, without any type of, wishing that you had done things different. Don't act out on emotion, because this is something that has the potential to, you want to beat somebody's ass. I'm sorry. I'm not perfect. A moral compass or not, you betray me on that level with a family member, and now this heifer pregnant by you, and you my husband, and that's my sister. I'm sorry, I'm human. I would want to beat that ass. Period. Ass get beat. Or you're gonna have to beat mine, because there's no excuse for this. They cross boundaries. If this has happened, they betrayed you and they've destroyed the family. So keep your head up high, my sister. You deserve better than what you got. What you do with your marriage and your man, once you've had an opportunity to process this, is your business. I don't try to encourage you one way or the other. You wrote in and you know that I am pro-marriage. I am pro-family. I believe in trying to work it out within reason. I believe in allowing God to do what God does best, which is convict people's heart and give them the opportunity to redirect their paths. You know, I believe that no one can beat God making a person pay for betraying you and breaking their vows. I'm a firm believer of that. I stand on that. Once you take your hands up off something and let it go and say, God, I give it to you. Oh, Lord, just know that when God deals with a person or persons, it can be so bad that you will pray. You will ask for mercy and grace for them because you've watched them get reaping what they sow so bad. Oh my God, if I could just tell, yes, God does not play. So, you know, just stay prayed up, my sister, and just know, unfortunately, you are not the first woman to go through this sort of betrayal with a family member. And most unfortunate behind that is you're probably not going to be the last. Just, you know, I don't have the answer. I don't even want to talk about forgiveness right now because I think prematurely talking about forgiveness is immature. I really do. You have to process things. You have to wrap your mind around things. You need to be able to feel what you feel without the pressure of having to forgive people that have, you know, no. Just when the time comes, you will have to look into forgiving these two people, but that's a process and we're not there right now. So I hope that whatever you uncover, that you are able to process it and deal with it. Once again, on my way out, my sister's pregnant, but my husband's the one throwing up. So going back to that letter that, baby, Sir Charles had it right. Guilty of being no good. And just know that if your husband did sleep with your sister and was sloppy enough and just reckless enough to get her pregnant, or vice versa, you know, she went into this situation unprotected and allowed herself to get pregnant by your husband, just know he's no good. I'm sorry. He's no good. I don't know. I mean, do you have any other sisters? You got any more sisters or brothers? I mean, if you forgive him for this sister, I mean, what about the others? I don't know. I just think you deserve so much better than to be married to a man that ambushes you with this type of betrayal, if this is true. On the other hand, maybe it may not be his baby, but he damn sure guilty of sleeping with her. It looks like it, because you shouldn't be that shook if you ain't touched this woman. So, I don't know, guys. I hope you guys have not been entertained, because I don't like to say be entertained by somebody else's misery, but for lack of a better word, I hope that you guys have been, have enjoyed the letter, because it was a doozy. It was a doozy. He's guilty of being no good. Thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you for the follows. I appreciate you. You need to know that. I appreciate you. I do not take your attendance for granted. You are the best. You rock. I pray the spirit of the living God, I pray that you have a blessed week and that he blesses you to have an amazing rest of your year. I really, really do, because this world is crazy. If you're interested, don't forget my new talk show airs on Access 21 this Friday night. Access 21, Spectrum Cable, Channel 21, AT&T UVERSE, Channel 99. And it's like I'm taking over the whole television station. And on Friday night, DivaSpeaks Relationships is in the spotlight. So they're going to air me being interviewed by Dawn. I forgot her last name. Dawn at the station is interviewing me and getting more information about DivaSpeaks. So that's going to be airing twice on Friday, as well as my talk show, which is it airs every second and fourth Friday of the month over there. So yeah, I got a lot going on. But yeah, I have a new talk show that airs this Friday night. It's also going to air on my Roku channel, the DivaSpeaks Relationships Roku channel. Probably today is Tuesday. Probably on Thursday, because I like to roll it out on my channel before it goes anywhere else. And if you or someone you know is going through a situation with infidelity and you're feeling ashamed and you're feeling all the feelings that are associated with experiencing a betrayal, just a reminder, I do have a game, a card set. It's called Surviving Infidelity. So it's on Amazon, Etsy, and eBay. It's nothing on the market like it. So no judgment. Sometimes people need to work through whatever they are experiencing or whatever they are uncovering, and it's not pleasant. And most people want to be private. A lot of people want to deal with what they're dealing with between them and their spouse or their partner. They want to deal with it behind closed doors. So I have developed a tool or a resource to help you to do just that. And in the comfort of your own home. And you can try that first. And if you see that you're getting the answers that you need, then you definitely will be blessed, and you'll be glad that you made that investment. So again, my name is Angelo Potarial, coming to you live out of Charlotte, North Carolina.